gonna be great, Charlie.
I love drinking lean. I love lean, Charlie. I love lean.
Disclaimer, I do own Call of Duty World at War. My Xbox does not want to read the disc, or the disc does not want to be read. Whichever internal issue is occurring, I don't know. I own it on PC as well. I don't know if my PC can handle recording and playing the game at the same time. And I don't really feel like experimenting to find out. I hope you can bear with me with the Black Ops 1 remastered version of the map I'm going to be speaking about today. Nokduren was the beginning, a small claustrophobic airfield where players first tasted survival against the undead. But the second map, VERRUCKT, was where everything changed. It wasn't just survival anymore, it was innovation, it was horror. It was chaos refined into something new, and it set the stage for everything zombies would eventually become. This is my interpretation of the story of VERRUCKT, the insane asylum that pushed Call of Duty zombies into terrifying new territory. When zombies first launched in World at War, it wasn't even advertised. Nokduren was a hidden bonus mode, but the reception was overwhelming. Players couldn't get enough of fighting waves of the undead. Treyarch saw the response and knew they had something special on their hands. The community demanded more. That more arrived on March 19th, 2009, with the World at War's Burst map pack. Alongside new multiplayer maps came the next step in zombies, VERRUCKT, also known as Asylum. And at this time, it wasn't just a hidden bonus. Treyarch proudly promoted it as a centerpiece of the DLC, cementing zombies as a full-fledged part of the Call of Duty experience. VERRUCKT is German for crazy or insane, and it lives up to its name. The map takes place in the infamous Wittenau Sanatorium. No idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. An abandoned asylum on the outskirts of Berlin. Immediately, the tone was darker, grimier, and more unsettling than Nokduren. Broken wheelchairs, blood-stained walls, flickering lights, and the constant hum of electricity created a suffocating sense of dread. If Noct felt claustrophobic, VERRUCKT felt haunted. The asylum wasn't just a backdrop, it was a character in of itself. Every hallway creaked with tension, every room told a story of suffering. It was the first zombies map that really leaned into psychological horror. Instead of just fighting the undead, you were trapped in a madhouse with them. What made VERRUCKT legendary wasn't just the setting, it was the gameplay changes. Nokduren was simple, no perks, no power, just weapons and barricades. VERRUCKT changed everything. This was the birthplace of perks, of power switches, of traps. Systems we now consider core to the zombies experience. It all started here. For the first time, players could buy perks, at the time referred to as Perka-Colas. Juggernog, Speed Cola, Quick Revive, and Double Tap Root Beer. These weren't just gimmicks, they were game changers. Juggernog gave you extra health, letting you survive more than 2 hits. Speed Cola doubled your reload speed, saving you in tight moments. Double Tap increased your fire rate, and Quick Revive helped keep the team alive longer. Suddenly, survival wasn't just about guns, it was about strategy, resource management, and building a loadout that fit your playstyle. VERRUCKT also introduced the concept of turning on power. At the start of the match, sections of the map were locked off, and players had to navigate through dark hallways, by doors, and ultimately flip the power switch to access perks and traps. The map gave a sense of progression and tension. Every step deeper into the asylum felt like peeling back another layer of madness. Treyarch also added traps, electrified barriers that could be activated to cut off zombies or save yourself in a last-minute panic. These traps weren't just useful, they added strategy. Do you spend your points on a new weapon, or save them for the trap that might save your squad in round 20? Verrucked was brutal. The map layout was tight, winding, and unforgiving. Long hallways funneled zombies directly at you. Narrow doorways turned into choke points. There weren't many open areas for kidding or training like later maps would allow. Verrucked demanded sharp reflexes and teamwork. What made Verrucked even more unique was its spawn system. In a 4-player co-op, teams actually spawned on opposite sides of the map, separated by locked doors. You had to fight through different wings of the asylum until eventually reuniting in the center. This forced communication and coordination from the very beginning. Do you rush to meet up with your team, or take time to gather points and weapons before opening doors? That decision would make or break your run. Compared to Knocked, Verrucked felt alive. Lights flickered, pipes hissed. The asylum whispered with the remnants of its tortured history. Even the background sounds, distant screams, the echoes of zombies pounding on doors, created a constant sense of paranoia. If Knocked was already challenging, Verrucked was a nightmare. The introduction of perks helped, but the tighter map design and faster zombie spawns made the difficulty skyrocket. This was the first map where zombies began sprinting at earlier rounds, overwhelming players much faster. Camping strategies were dangerous, and training options were nearly non-existent. Verrucked pushed players to adapt or die. Because of that, Verrucked developed a reputation as one of the hardest maps in the entire Zombies catalog, even this many years later. Many players never made it past the teens or 20s. Reaching round 30 on Verrucked wasn't just impressive, it was amazing. It was a show of your skill. The atmosphere and horror is the one thing that Verrucked nailed. This wasn't just an action mode anymore. It was survival horror at its finest. The asylum was unsettling in ways Knock couldn't attempt to be. Blood smears on the walls hinted at what happened to the patients. The sound design was bone-chilling. Manic laughter, sudden screams, the buzz of electricity echoing down the halls. Even the way zombies broke through doors and windows felt more violent, more desperate. Verrucked leaned heavily into psychological terror. Unlike later maps with big storylines and larger-than-life characters, this was raw, and it was grounded. You weren't a hero on a grand mission. You were just another poor soul trapped in an asylum, crawling with the undead. Verrucked might not be a fan-favorite map, but its influence is impossible to ignore. This was the map that defined what zombies could be and what it would be. Perks, power, traps, environmental storytelling. It all started here. Every map after Verrucked built on these foundations. Think about it. Without Verrucked, there's no Juggernaut, no Pack-a-Punch machine to innovate later, no strategic map flow. Knocked may have been the spark, but Verrucked was the first step forward. Zombies evolved into a deep-layered experience that fans know today. Verrucked was also remastered multiple times. It came back in Black Ops 1 as part of the Resurrection DLC, updated with new weapons and visuals. Later, it appeared in Black Ops 3's Zombies Chronicles, beautifully remastered with even more atmosphere. Each time players got to revisit the asylum and remembered just how terrifying it really was. Looking back, Verrückt represents a turning point. Nocturne's Own was simple survival, but Verrückt was evolution. It transformed zombies from a fun little experiment into a mode with depth, strategy, and replayability. It was terrifying and brutal, but more importantly, it was unforgettable. For many players, Verrückt was the map that taught them the true meaning of survival. In Call of Duty Zombies, the asylum walls closed in on you. The undead never stopped coming, and no matter how many rounds you survived, you always knew the end was inevitable. But that struggle, that desperate fight for just one more round, that's what made it magical. Verrückt wasn't just a map, it was a vision of what zombies could become, and without it, the franchise wouldn't be what it is today. That insane asylum may have been hell on earth, but it was also the place where zombies truly found its identity. I hope you guys enjoyed my interpretation of what Verrückt was, what it meant, and my appreciation and love for this map. Zombies wouldn't be where it is today, and I have to love it for that. I'll see you guys in the Shino Numa video.
Hello, this is Kitty.
Mira bien, hijo de tu puta madre. Soy Mencho, güey. Relaja tu puta gente a la verga. Soy Mencho, güey. No cuelgues, hijo de la verga. Te tengo